Hello everyone, this is an SNM short and sweet. I am Tally and this is Eve.
Hi,
And
guys.
today and today we are going to go over the latest information that has come out about James Younger.
Yes, real quick, just to get you guys up to date on what it is we're doing here. Tally and I have been discussing new things to do with the channel, new content, and ways that we could interact with you guys. And one of the ideas we came up with was we could pick like a single subject, a small article, or something along those lines, and just have a short 10-minute, 15-minute conversation about it. And share it with you guys, and then you guys can just give us feedback in the comments, and then maybe we could talk about it on the live stream at the end of the week. So let us know what you guys think. Like, share, subscribe. Leave us comments down below. Let us know what you think about this. Let us know what you think about the article. If you don't like what we do on here, please leave us comments down there telling us how terrible we are, and be sure to dislike the stream and subscribe while you're at it. So
Yes, also we won't like mute or delete any comments that
no,
criticize or disagree with us.
unless you're
We
violating terms of
disagree.
service.
Yeah. Now, you can tell us how much you hate us and we will just laugh at you.
Yep, maybe, or we'll cry in a corner. Anyway, on to the article. We were talking about a young man named James Younger. Would you like to start us off, Miss Tally?
Yes. So, as we know, last year, James Younger was a 7-year-old that his parents were fighting about whether or not he was transgender. And this went so far as to get the governor of Texas's interest.
Right. This started back in October of last year. And like I said, this, like Tally just said, it just went as high as to catch the governor's attention, as well as several senators, as you'll see in the article here.
Yeah.
One of the things that about this case, well, I'll just go ahead and start reading the article instead of actually trying to explain it before I read it. There's little that Jeffrey Younger and Anne Gregorius agree on about one of their twins. To start, is the 7-year-old transgender? It is a question that has divided Coppell, Texas parents on how Luna, who was named James at birth, should be dressed to school and wear their hair, on whether the child should receive gender-affirming care, which could eventually lead to medical treatment to delay puberty, on which parent should get to live with the twins, and who should have who should have a say in decisions over their health. I can word goodly. I can talk, damn it. At least one of those conflicts was resolved on Tuesday, as a jury in Dallas effectively granted Gregorius sole custody of Luna in a deeply personal case of gender identity, family conflict, and viral misinformation that has lit conservative circles aflame. They'll go on to say how, in this article, how right-wing media and conservative media has blown it out of proportion and said mutilated and chemically castrated is what she's trying to do to the child. Senator Ted Cruz even said the child was, quote, a pawn in a left-wing political agenda. It goes on to be kind of a little more biased in favor of this, and this is also one of the older articles as well that doesn't tell everything that's happened up to date. So
The governor said that state agencies were looking into the situation as well.
right, I think it's this tweet right here. FYI, on the matter of 7-year-old James Younger is being looked into by the Texas Attorney General's office and Texas Department of Family and Protective Services. So this is basically where it starts. A case that got so much attention, even the governor of the state caught wind of it. The fight continues on until later in the year. They manage to, the father manages to win at least joint custody over his child's health.
Basically, it was a judge decided after a hearing and hearing different people on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
This judge decided that in order for the child to transition, both parents would have to agree.
Mm-hmm. Tally, I'm actually going to skip our second source and move on to the third one,
Okay.
just straight away from here, if you don't mind, because it kind of covers most
Yeah,
of
that's
this.
fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
So we've covered a left-leaning article, and now we're going to go to the Blaze, which is a right-leaning article.
Right. Which also has more
And
recent information.
yes, this article actually came out on the 14th of this month.
Right. This is, almost a year later after all of this. You're probably like, why are you guys talking about this old ass story? Well, because there's been a new development.
Yeah, like this came out like 5 days ago.
Judge reverses Save James ruling, gives mother power to transition 8-year-old son at father's expense. That's not a good headline. Dallas judge effectively reversed a previous ruling that would have granted the divorced father and mother of 8-year-old James Younger equal say in his medical and psychological care. Now the boy's mother, Dr. Ann Gregorlis, will be able to enroll James in school as a girl named Luna and subject him to transition therapy and medical procedures at the expense of his father, Jeffrey Younger, the Save James Facebook reported Tuesday.
James and Jude did not have a victory in court today. Judge Mary Brown has condemned James and Jude to a life of therapy, confusion, and abuse without even having a hearing. There was no other words for what happened today that a post on the page read. So that's another thing. This judge made this decision without any information from either side because the mother decided to get the previous judge removed from the case.
Well, we should keep reading before we start commenting.
She has forced James to live as Luna in a school surrounded by teachers and therapists who do not acknowledge that he has said multiple times to multiple people without Jeff, his father, around that he wanted to be a boy and hated being forced to be a girl. The post continued.
In October, In October, I can't talk. In October, Judge Kim Cooks overruled an initial verdict handed down by a Texas jury that granted sole conservatorship of James to his mother. Instead granted 50-50 joint conservatorship to both parents. The decision meant that Gregorlis and Younger would both have to consent to any medical treatments. So basically, one couldn't have a medical treatment done without the other one's consent.
Well, unless it's emergency life-saving
Well,
surgery.
sure, of course, but
that would be a caveat to that. That's a normal thing that most of these things
right.
have
Specifically, the thing in question here was transition therapy and hormone blockers and the like, gender affirming care, as they would call it.
Yeah.
And in
January, sorry, go on.
I was going to say, in January, a new judge on the case, Mary Brown, initially affirmed the court's decision to grant Younger joint conservatorship, but Brown allegedly rolled back that decision Tuesday. Younger had allegedly become concerned after he discovered medical records indicating that his ex-wife had referred James to a local gender transition clinic and had begun the process of medically transitioning him into a girl, LifeSite News reported. You can read the next one.
Younger claimed that his son never expressed any desire to be a girl when he was with him, and that his ex-wife is pressuring James into transitioning. At the start of the school year last fall, James reportedly chose to attend school as a boy and under his given name. So this boy actually chose to go to school as a boy named James instead of as a girl named Luna.
and now his
last
mother wants to enroll him in school under the name of Luna. In COVID
year.
times, no less.
Mm.
According to the Save James page, the ruling was handed down on Tuesday without a hearing. The page added that, quote, a special evidentiary hearing is scheduled for September and requested that supporters donate to cover Younger's increasingly expensive legal fees. And then they go on to talk about the rest of their reporters' opinions on the article. And I'm just going to scroll back up and put little James's face back on here because he's a cute kid.
He is a cute kid, isn't he?
He
Look how
is.
innocent. He's so innocent.
He is. And he's caught in the middle of this. And honestly, there's a lot wrong with this case, in my opinion. Where do we start? We start with the fact that the father's rights are being basically tossed aside without a
Horribly
hearing.
violated.
Without a
Horribly
hearing,
violated.
right? Without a hearing, without any kind of change. We said before that the mother we did not like, Judge Kim Cooks' ruling, and therefore decided to have her removed from the case. So they reassigned Judge Mary Brown. Judge Brown decides at first to uphold the ruling, but for some reason, without any kind of other change or developments in the case, just arbitrarily decides to change it. As far as we know, I mean, there's not been anything I've read anywhere. I've read several articles on this. I've not seen anything stating that there was much motivation behind it other than she just changed her mind. The judge, I'm saying the judge changed her mind, not even the mother.
The judge. Well, also, this looks like it was entirely done on the mother's part out of spite because her marriage broke down.
I would say that it's, while speculation, that's not a far-fetched theory.
Well, that's what it looks like. If you go through all of the information that we have, it does look like this is all being done out of spite.
Mm-hmm.
Why else would she make it so that the father has no say in the matter but still has to pay for it?
Right. We did gloss over that part. That was something that even the previous judge had ruled, is that he needs to pay $5,000 for counseling for little James here, and isn't allowed any contact or say in how the counseling is administered. But he has to pay for it, so that's fine.
Also, we have to. We skipped over this, but the mother, she went to several different therapists with this child before she found one that said that he needed to transition.
I'd heard that too. That I didn't see that in any of the articles we read today, but that doesn't surprise me. Like I've said before, I'm transgender, and hearing that, I hear this kind of thing, this kind of story about parents who want their kids to be transgender and are trying to either push an agenda or whatever, but they're just so certain that their child is transgender and want it so badly that they will literally go to as many doctors as it takes to get one that agrees with them.
Well, this flies in the face of the whole informed consent thing as well. Mm-hmm. There is a reason we have informed consent laws when it comes to sexual intercourse, and it's because when you're a child, you don't understand the long-term impact of these different choices.
Same with decisions about your medical care in this case.
Of course, yes. And now I'm a mother, and if my child when he was like really little, I mean he's only 6 now, but when he was really little, he wanted to be a dinosaur.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna go and get a tail implanted in, fangs and all that sort of thing implanted in him so he can be a dinosaur.
Mm-hmm.
Children come up with this stuff all the time, that they want to be all these different things, but it's not reasonable to think that it's going to be something they're going to want when they're older.
It also has been noted from several sources that even without his father around, James has expressed that he does not want to be a girl. He wants to be a boy. Like I said, he chose to be enrolled under his boy name in fall last year, but at his mother's insistence, he is being dressed up in dresses. He's being treated like a girl. He's being called a girl. And ultimately, I just find this child being put into a very uncomfortable situation.
Um,
Um,
this child is like if they this is going to go one of two ways. I can see this going.
oh, don't go there.
Either he when once all of this transition's done, he's going to get to the age where he can make his own decisions, and he's going to detransition, and then he's going to be pissed at his mother because she made him infertile, because that's a side effect of these
Mm-hmm.
different
I
hormones.
was actually going to get to that next, but yeah.
Yeah, I can see him either detransitioning as an adult and suing his mother for doing this to him, or, and I really hope this doesn't happen because
I don't even
it's
want to hear
just,
you say what would happen, but
yeah. And the other one is a less
it's
like,
a not it's not a pleasant thing. It's what people do when they don't
no.
think they have any options. Because seriously, putting this child through this medical transition at this age, this early, when he isn't even competent enough to make this decision on his own. But even if he was, he doesn't seem to be making that decision. It's his mother making this decision for him. To put him on hormone blockers that stop his development, stop his mental development, stop his physical development, and
Well, mental
not just
develop
into a boy, just but into an adult. Period. His development into adulthood,
well,
and
something that we are aware that does happen is that when you put a child on hormone blockers, it does actually stunt their mental development.
right, and that's not a good thing. In no way is that a helpful or useful thing that for a child, for
Now,
anyone.
I hope when he does grow up and he doesn't become part of that 40% stat that we all know about.
Well, that
I
would
hope
require
he,
him to be transgender to begin with, but I don't think this child is. I think
yeah.
this is being forced upon him.
Oh
But
yeah,
I really,
definitely.
like I said, I really want to stress that I believe that you can do social transitioning if you have a child who is exhibiting transgender issues. You should take them to a therapist. You should talk to the therapist, let them talk to the therapist to figure it out.
Not a gender affirming therapist.
Yeah, just a therapist. Like a regular
A
therapist can handle this
yeah, like
job. And if they
yeah.
feel they can't, they can refer them to a more specialized therapist. But
Now
I feel like
that,
in this case, you can allow a child to socially transition in that you let them dress their preferred gender. You allow them to grow their hair. You allow them to talk and act the way they want to without having to go through a medical transition. Because the worst thing that's going to happen in that case is maybe they'll be a little embarrassed when they grow up and go, "Wow, that was a phase that I went through." The
well,
worst thing that
that
happens if you put them on hormones
the worst thing that
is
happens in that case where they go through this phase is they grow up to be well-adjusted gay or lesbian adults. That's
not
the
even
worst. That
necessarily that. There are plenty of people who dress as girls and stuff. You know, plenty of boys who dress as girls and stuff as a kid, but then grow up to be just straight males because
well,
they were just
yeah, it does
kids. They were
happen.
goofing around and experimenting and learning things.
I mean, in saying that, my son likes to play with my makeup.
Exactly. It doesn't necessarily mean he's going to turn out gay or straight or anything. It just means that he's a kid. He likes to play with things. He
It
likes to
means that
explore and learn.
it just means that he's a kid that's so used to seeing his mum wear makeup that he likes to try it for himself.
Yeah. And there's nothing wrong with that. But like I said, I have a problem when you start doing medical things that fuck him up physically, that make it to where he can't reproduce, that make it to where
Well,
he can't even transition properly when he gets older.
the whole reason hormone blockers became a thing was because there is a very rare condition, and it is a very rare condition, where a 5-year-old will start puberty.
Mm-hmm.
Now, these puberty blockers, they made these so that you could put these 5-year-olds on puberty blockers until they're like 10 years old. And then at that age, they can go through regular puberty just like everybody else, and they can just be regular
Right.
adults.
And they're
Because
being
if you go through puberty that young, you end up with other health issues.
and it's being co-opted into this block, use them to help transgender kids not transition into a gender they don't want to be, but might grow out of anyways because 90% of transgender kids, teenagers, grow out of their gender dysphoria. So,
They do.
with all that said, we were at almost 20 minutes at this point, so I think we're going to wrap up here.
Yep.
I think me and Miss Tally are on the same page with this one. No transgender kids. Like, there are other things you can do to help your child without putting them on
Just
hormones and
let
hormone
kids
blockers.
be kids.
Right. If they come to you at 18 and say, "Hey, I still want to do this," then you can go, "All right, let's see what we can do to help you." But you
Well, at
know,
18, you're an adult. You can make the decision like, right, I want to freeze my sperm and I want to transition. You
right,
can make those decisions.
right. And don't take away parental rights without a hearing. That's a big one too. So, with all of that
Yeah,
said,
don't shit all over father's rights.
yep. With all that said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching this video. Like I said, it went a little longer than we intended to, but we're,
It
you know,
did.
whatever. We'll figure it out. We like to ramble. We're used to streaming, so where we can just talk until our ears fall off. We'll get used to these videos eventually. If you liked what
Um,
we presented here to you today, please leave a like. Please leave a comment. Hit that subscribe button and share with your friends. Let
yes,
everyone you
and
know.
tell us your opinions in the box below.
Yes, tell us what you think of the article. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree with us? Please let us know. And stop by our stream this Saturday at 3 p.m.
Oh,
Central, 4 p.m. Eastern, and let us know as well. So,
if you disagree with us and you think we're horrible transphobic bigots, you can tell us and we will laugh at you.
yes, hit that dislike button too. Comment down below and tell us how terrible people we are. And subscribe so you can come back and tell us how terrible we are every single time we release one of these videos or streams. So, with that
We will
said,
get better.
we will get better. With that said, Miss Tally, it has been wonderful working with you today.
It has, yes, it has been fun.
And I think we'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.